The family in Spanish. La familia en español. Hello, in this video we will learn some family members in Spanish by completing a family tree using some pictures. We will show you how to create simple sentences about the family in Spanish using the verbs ser and tener and some adjectives. Let's begin. What are some common family members in Spanish? We use the phrase los miembros de la familia for family members. The first family members you must learn are los padres. For mother we use the word madre in a more formal context and mamá in a more casual way. For father we use padre and papá. The mark over the vowel A is called tilde and helps us identify where the stress goes in a word. In this case we must pronounce papá, not papa, which actually means potato in Spanish, so be careful. If they were married they would be esposa and esposo. Let's review the pronunciation of these words. Los padres, madre o mamá, padre o papá, esposa y esposo. Couples often have children, or as we would say in Spanish, los padres tienen hijos. This family has un hijo and una hija. The relationship between los hijos is that of hermanos. Hermanos is how we say siblings in Spanish. For brother we say hermano, and for sister we say hermana. Another common word for children in Spanish is niños. Un niño would be a boy, and una niña would be a girl. Let's review the pronunciation of these words. Los padres, mamá and papá. Los hijos, hijo and hija. Los hermanos, hermano and hermana. It's time to add some more relatives. Más familiares. Familiares is the word for relatives in Spanish. Children usually have abuelos. That is how we say grandparents. The word for grandmother is abuela and the one for grandfather is abuelo. For los abuelos, these children are nietos or grandchildren in Spanish. In this case, un nieto and una nieta. It is common to change the words abuelo and abuela to abuelito and abuelita to make them sound kinder, just like grandpa and grandma in English. Other important relatives are los tíos, or uncles and aunts. We use tíos to refer to all of them. Tío would be an uncle and tía would be an aunt. The son of an uncle or aunt is un primo, and the daughter of an uncle or aunt is una prima. For the parents, the children of their brothers and sisters are sobrinos. In this case, un sobrino and una sobrina. Let's take a few seconds to review the new words. First we have los abuelos, abuelo and abuela. Los nietos, nieto and nieta. Los tíos, tío and tía. Los primos, primo and prima. Los sobrinos, sobrino and sobrina. How to talk about the family in Spanish. Hablando de la familia. Some important notes. Well, this is the interesting part. First, the members of a family are Spanish nouns, so they change gender from masculine to feminine, like tío and tía, or abuelo and abuela. That way, you don't have to learn a new word for each family member like in English. Just change the ending. They also change plural form. For example, tío changes to tíos, and abuelo to abuelos. Mama and papa are exceptions because they do not change their gender. It is common to establish a relationship between us and our relatives in Spanish using possessive adjectives or adjetivos posesivos like mi, tú, su, nuestros y sus, the equivalents to my, your, his, and so on in English. They are used to say things like mi mamá, su tío, nuestros padres. The Spanish verb ser is used in its forms es and son to introduce relatives in Spanish, like in the sentences. Él es mi abuelo. Ellos son mis hermanos. To say the name of a family member in Spanish, we use the phrase se llama. For example, mi tío se llama Mario. To describe your family in Spanish, you can use the verb ser and simple adjectives like grande, pequeña, inteligente, amable, and so on, like in these sentences. Mi mamá es amable. Mi familia es grande. Tener is used to talk about people in our family or the relatives we have. For example, tengo dos hermanos. Él tiene un sobrino, and so on. A paragraph about the family in Spanish. You will now see how we use the vocabulary for the family in Spanish, the verbs ser and tener, and adjectives to talk about una familia. Esta es mi familia. Mi mamá se llama Anabel y mi papá se llama Marcos. Tengo dos hermanas. Ellas son amables. Mi mamá es inteligente y mi papá es estricto. Tenemos dos tíos, una tía y dos primos. Mi prima es traviesa y mi primo es juguetón. Es una familia pequeña, pero todos nos llevamos muy bien. Hey, do you want to subscribe to our channel?